welcome back. So, I wanted to share both a little more gameplay of the Sherlock Holmes The Awakened, the remake of the 2008 game, which came out 2 days ago, and show you a little bit more of the gameplay. I did continue a bit more. I didn't record that though. I will have to tell you what happened in between, I guess. There will be spoilers, be aware. So, let's see. Right. Okay. I also would like to share some impressions. Now, I did solve a little part of a bigger crime. I went, after the whole thing with the book merchant, Watson told me about this guy who's living in the neighborhood, and I talked to him. He told me that a servant has disappeared, and he asked me to examine like the whole thing and solve that case and find him. And I did examine it, and I figured out that someone had been here watching the servant who's living in that little shack over there. He was here and was like observing, and you can see that in my mind I'm reenacting that whole thing, which is very much like the other Sherlock Holmes games, or Sinking City, which is another game by Frogware. And then I figured out that this is the shack that the guy used to live in, and someone had been thrown into this container, and you see like a face imprint there. Someone was dropped in there hard, and that someone had clogged up this pipe. So yeah, we can see that. So it turned out eventually that there's something foul at play here, and then I couldn't continue. I couldn't find any more clues, which was kind of frustrating, and I was really looking hard. And then I eventually, because I didn't know what else to do, I went back to the guy and talked to him again and told him of my progress, and he was being snotty about it. And when I then went back, I told him that there was this locked door with a weird lock, and then he said, yeah, well, we use special keys here, so the locks are harder to pick. And only then was I able to identify this thing here, this keyboard, which had the keys attached. So it seems that you can only find clues if you do certain dialogue before, which is kind of... It bothered me a little bit. I slowly am getting to terms with it and can accept it, where you go, okay, well, he mentioned something about a key, so yeah, you go back and then you can actually pay attention to it, I guess. But, you know, I saw a weird lock. I went in there and that thing didn't show up on my radar, I guess. So this is what happened. That pipe was clogged, so the guy was knocked out, and then whoever this is, the strange person, pulled him out of there, put him into this little cartwheel thing, and unlocked the door and left. So that solved a little bit of that quest, and I am gonna continue now. Let's see, because we're following the tracks, and you can see, let me see if I can pin that stuff. Abductor's trail, so let's pin that. And we can actually see the tracks. So the game told me, you know, there's evidence you could pin right now, which would make sense. I did, and I want to follow the trail of that little wagon that he had. So this is where I stopped last time. As I said, I didn't record that part. And here's the next track. This is apparently the little thing that the guy was abducted with. So let us examine. I'll show you what happens. Okay, we have this view, and then we can explore. So, guess the rope.
Sturdy rope, professionally tied in a Portuguese bowline. This knot is often used by sailors to create a bosun's chair.
A bosun's chair. So what else? We have something right here. grass.
Wheels picked up grass along the way. Kimahir's cart, I gather.
And there's this. So let's rotate
A
and...
strange substance. I have my suspicions based on the color and consistency, but would you care to hazard a guess, Doctor? Roy Soulsby. Could that be the name of our man? Well, it's odorless, but from the way it absorbs water, I'd say saltpeter. Then we're in agreement. Well done.
Investigation scene completed. Very nice. So we should be able to solve something in the Mind Palace. So the things that stood out that I found there, he left behind some chewing tobacco. I don't know if that's like a proof that like narrows it down a lot, because I know back then lots of people used them. So these are the items, and then we also have footprints. We have cloth in the chimney. Doesn't really make sense unless he used like a handkerchief or something. Okay, so one of the blue ones is missing. We have the spyglass. We have the... Oh, the wallet with saltpeter, right? Nope. But of course, could also be the sailor's knot, because of its... Yeah. So, we have figured out the abductor is a sailor. That was rather easy compared to the other stuff. And now, I don't know if we can solve this. Does this help? The calling card, because it's got the name on there. Does this help? I'm not sure. And we have the abductor's trail. No, I didn't think that would fit. Not one of them? Doctor is a sailor. Don't think we can solve... We can solve this? Because it seems like... we can actually solve this, right? Because it says it's got that little icon attached to it. And in this case, we need 2 blue items. I don't know there was anything in the newspaper. And we need something. It's not a trade in the garden. And we know he's a sailor. Okay, we got 2 right. It's the newspaper. So maybe this. Yes. Okay, I did guess a little bit there. But then again, you know, it's the last thing we found, and I think it stands out that he mentions that there is saltpeter on it. So, we know that the kidnapper is most likely a sailor, that his wallet bears saltpeter residue, and that there was a recent saltpeter accident. Oh, that's what it said in the newspaper, so you have to be really observant sometimes. There was a saltpeter accident in the port of London, which makes sense, that a sailor may be there. Everything suggests that to find Kimia, we must head to the port of London. There is no time to lose. It is vital that we find a cab to the port of London immediately. So we need to find a cab.
The strand proved not so useless
Which
after
should
all.
not be too difficult because, and here's a little thing
The port of London. Of
that
course,
I would like
the
to point
port
out
of the
about
spyglass. Indeed, we shall need to take a cab there.
criticism. And, sorry, I waited for that dialogue to be over, that little exchange there. Here's the thing. Which one do I have pinned on? Abductor's trail. Yeah. So let's not pin that. So the thing is, 2 things that are bothering me a little is some of the facial expressions, especially dialogues. They're not in sync with the audio, but then again, I don't know whether English was the language they did this game in. And they look a little outdated. looks more like a game that's a little older. Maybe it's because it's a remake, I don't know, but I would think that they redid like the whole graphics engine. It's not really glaringly bad or anything, but it's there. And the other thing that bothers me a little, I like the atmosphere of the game. I like how, you know, they portray London in that time, but this is only a very small area, and the rest of it is locked away. So for example, where was that? Here's the mansion that, you know, where the guy was abducted, and then we walk down this street. Guess it's like a courthouse or something, or a jail. Maybe it's not, but it seems like an official building. Steam engine car thingy. The street there is blocked by two carriages, which is a little on the nose, I guess. But how else would you lock a street or, like, you know, close it off? We've got this little courtyard. This was weird. Got this little courtyard, so let's get back to the road. And then we have another blockade right here. Road closed. I mean, it looks cool. I love how they like have that ancient crane there, which I guess is what around about what they used back then. But you can tell it's a very small area. It kind of fits. Because it's a remake, I think, and it wouldn't make sense if it's a game from 2008 with a rather small field of action to suddenly turn this into like an open world game. But yeah. So, is this a cap? You cannot return after leaving. Be sure to finish everything you want to do here. I think we did, because I mean, I can do a bit more exploration, but I don't think there's much going on. I mean, maybe there are some Easter eggs or something. Here's another roadblock. I can't really communicate with these people. So, as much as I like the look of this, it looks you realize pretty quickly that this is like the opposite of open world, which is okay. Not every game has to have an open world. Quite the opposite, actually. So, Steam achievement. Let's watch a little cinematic. Roll credit. No, chapter 2.
Mr. Holmes, what a compelling mystery we have stumbled upon. Perhaps I have the premise of my next novel. One kidnapping does not a story make. Stop! A black cat crossed before us. It's a bad omen. I do not take you for the superstitious type, Doctor.
Why have I changed clothes while I was in a taxi?
Fantasies, tricks of a feeble mind. One imagines a physician would keep a surer footing in reality.
Where's my
Perhaps
Sherlock hat?
before the war, my time abroad was difficult. Once, I came across an Afghan, bleeding, who I could not save.
See about
Pressed a
those
rosary
faces?
in my hand. A gift, he said, so as to gain God's favor.
It's fine,
After
but
that,
yeah.
Dr. Watson.
Still, it's a small
Yes,
complaint.
Well, I shan't get into details, but sometime later I found myself lost in the desert. Dehydration set in, and things grew ever more dire. The man's words came to me. I said a prayer and placed the rosary on a rock. A gift to gain God's favor. And you were rescued? Yes. A detachment of British soldiers found me. To whom I'm grateful. Without their diligence, you would not be standing here and I would not have this case. I'm sure you have another explanation prepared, Mr. Holmes, but I think I shall cling to the occasional superstition all the same. To each his own, Dr. Watson. So long as it does not interfere with my methods, do it. We must press on, cat or no cat. The question remains, why abduct Kimmer here?
So, are you ready for some actual gumshoe work? Because, as we can see, Sherlock can ask bystanders about a piece of evidence, press, open the menu note to open the casebook, pin the evidence with X, and then speak to someone. try it now with the calling card.
It appears that the saltpeter explosion rattled the local.
Okay, so we now see that we have less evidence because we had solved the first chapter. So, you know, it's clean again, which is good, because otherwise I guess at the end of the game we would have about 2,000 pieces of evidence. So, can we solve this? I don't think we can, right? No, we don't have enough proof for that. Or do we? Did any of this carry over? No. Okay, so we pinned the calling card. It reached Roy Salisbury, London. And now
It's a large harbor. If our kidnapper is hiding
we
here,
can
finding
start
him
asking
won't be
people.
easy.
So let's look for people. This looks really
May I
atmospheric.
ask for your assistance?
Oh, you're fortunate. I will help you.
Okay. So the man usually wanders close to the dockyard.
Could you help me?
Sorry, sir, I can't help you.
No, he's busy peeping into the window or something, I guess. I really like this atmosphere. It's like, I mean, it's a bit cliche, but it's, you know, what you think of when you think of like London Victorian times, I guess. You know, it's like little ramshackle in some areas and foggy and mysterious. Like Jack the Ripper running around and stuff. Do we have other people here? We do.
Are you able to help me?
Sorry, sir, I can't help you.
So where's the dockyard? That it? There's a pier. There's a fisherman out there.
May I ask you something?
As much as I'd like to help you, I know nothing about this.
Yeah. And another one back there. So let's check this out. I also like the music. It's like a little mysterious, a little dark, but not too obnoxious or intrusive or whatever. It's just a nice fit to the whole atmosphere. So, hello.
May I ask you something?
It is a shame I can't answer your question.
Did I already find the only clue? I wonder whether they copied these posters from like history books or something. Silver Blaze, the best kitchen coal to warm one's heart and home. Nice.
Excuse me, just one question.
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
Cigars worth a lady. Antoinette Moore. It's very stylish. Do you have any evidence or anything? Maris Fishmonger. I know, I'm getting distracted by all this.
familiar to you?
No, sir. I never heard of it.
Wow, it's a pretty large area for just finding this guy.
May I ask for your assistance?
Of course I know. To cut a long story short.
Okay. Watch the ship that exploded next to the third pier. Oh, which one would that be? Let's see if we can find some numbers or something. Just going around in a circle and ask some
Satisfy
more
my
people.
curiosity.
Sorry, sir, I can't help you.
So we need to find a ship that looks like it exploded.
Can I ask you a question?
I can't tell you because I don't know.
I like that they have that many voice talents instead of just cutting back a little on the voice actors and just put text on the
Sorry, sir,
screen.
I can't help you.
Could you help me?
I don't think anyone here knows the answer.
Yeah,
You should
okay.
ask
So
someone
that's a
else.
repeated
Is this
line.
familiar to you?
Sorry, sir, I can't help you.
Help me, please.
As much as I'd like to help you, I know nothing about this.
Okay, so train here. Let's see if we come back to the piers. Pier 3. Oh, now I know. Did that person just glitch through the pier? Either that or something creepy is going on.
May I ask you something?
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
That doesn't look like it leads anywhere. Oh, there she is again. Guess she climbed out of the water then.
Do you know anything about this?
Ugh, I'm sorry, but I don't know anything.
That back there looks creepy. And all these details. I mean, look at this. It's a little, I guess, like a tinkering machine, something like that. Make tools with or sharpen them with. Gearworth's missing for a week. Please tell if you see him. Ask Dyer in Port Shantytown. Red wreck over house entrance. Okay, more disappearances, I guess. That is one big area, considering it's not open. Oh, okay. That's where it came in. Alright. So, I actually walked by here already. Ah, I see now. Okay, so this is Pier 3. So let's see where the guy might be.
Not in the mood, mate. Shoo!
Pardon me, sir. I am looking for Roy.
Not again. Yes, I'm Roy, but I can't help you find your uncle or whoever you've lost.
Now, what makes you think I would inquire about missing people?
You are the fourth person to ask this week. Just because I work
Love the background
abroad
with the
doesn't mean
fog.
I keep track of everyone who comes here.
You say we are not the first to ask you about a disappearance. Do you recall anything about those who came inquiring?
I only remember the foreign woman. I didn't catch her name, but those are her posters hanging up everywhere. She has badgered me twice now, but I still don't know nothing.
And this woman can be found?
No clue. She was talking gibberish.
Okay, that's the lady, I guess, who left the note saying Shantytown, door with a red cloth over it. And if you pay attention to the lip syncing, it seems to fit, but somehow the lips are moving pretty slowly. But that's really nitpicking, I guess. It's really small detail. I love the atmosphere and the graphics. What are you doing
May
here?
I ask what you're doing here?
This is where the ship sank the other day. I'm trying to work out how we'll remove it.
Now, where was...
So let's observe him first before I try to go for any kind of evidence. Average height. Many stamping stains. HM Kuss. Okay. Mint solid gold. Okay, seems to be doing well. English blood around 5'5" and has an average build. His lack of muscle tone implies that he's hardly strong. HM Curse is the customs officer. It's a brand new Waterman patch. Yeah, well, I don't know. It sounds like he's a corrupt officer, so I'm gonna pick this. I don't know what happens if I pick the wrong one. So let's do that. Let's accept that. So let's provide evidence. Oops. Sorry, I meant to provide evidence.
Have you seen this before?
My card? Where did you dig that up?
At a crime scene near Baker Street involving a young servant's kidnapping, I might add.
No. Someone used it without my consent. How else would it end up there? That boat explosion stopped most traffic coming into the port. Guess I'll be without work for a while. Wonder why people are going missing.
That's weird because I just,
Puts a man on edge, you know.
asked him and he said, well, it's not mine, and I'm okay with that.
I need a little Dutch cook.
So I guess I'll have to believe him. Now, that's another thing that speaks against him being the person, because it says the guy, the abductor, is likely a sailor. He's a bulky man wearing size 11 shoes with worn-out soles, and this guy is not bulky at all, and he's average height. I mean, you can still have size 11 shoes, but still. But he's not really a sailor. So I guess we need to go and find the lady, the foreign woman. And for that we need to go to Shantytown and find an entrance with a red cover over it, a red wreck. So we'll go find that, but we're not going to do that this time. I hope you enjoyed this. I tried to give you like a bit more impression of the gameplay and what I like about it and what I am not quite sure about it, which is the whole deduction system, where I'm not sure whether I wouldn't like it better if you can immediately find all the evidence but you can't really make sense of it, or whether I like the system where you unlock actually seeing some of the evidence, finding it. And yeah, I love the atmosphere, I love the sound, I love the whole portrayal of London, and I can't wait how this is going to continue. I'm actually eager to see where this leads, because it does read a little bit like a Sherlock Holmes story, but soon the other part of the story, the Cthulhu stuff, should creep in. So, hope you enjoyed this, taking this little trip with me to London. If you're interested, the game is available now, and I'd probably do more videos on this at any time soon. Not a dedicated, very focused playthrough, but I would like to continue this in between all the other stuff I do. So, thanks for watching, fare thee well, and bye-bye.